Talking About Rock, Season 4, Episode 5, Ron. All right, let's welcome Ron Coolen to the show, here to chat with us about his new release, Here to Stay, with Keith St. John. Ron, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. It's busy. And talking to a lot of press and reading all the reviews that are written about the album. So it's the busiest time one can have after release of an album.
Yeah, it's definitely been great, getting a lot of great feedback about that. And so I was reading a little bit about your history. You originally started at 10 playing keyboards, but then you switched to guitar and then eventually switched to drums. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I think that summarizes it well. I think as of a young age I was into guitar playing, but in those days in music school, you were either only to start whatever instrument you wanted to play. You had to start on a flute or on a keyboard.
Oh, really? Yeah, I know a lot of people start on flutes in the regular music schools. Yeah. My son had to start on that. He was not too happy.
Yeah. So I was able to skip the flute, and I started on keyboard, and I didn't like it. And it was I didn't like to be in school and being taught, and in the end, I just wanted to play guitar. So after 3 years in music school, I quit. And maybe 1 or 2 years later, I bought a guitar for my savings and thought, let's start and learn myself how to play guitar. And that didn't work out. I think I was 14, 15 at the time. Didn't work out. And threw the guitar away. So, and then again, another 1 or 2 years later, I was in high school. And there was, with a bunch of friends, we wanted to start a band, and there was only one position available, which was the drummer. And if I wanted to be in, I had to drum. And,
okay.
So that's when I started to play drums, and I had a summer job, and all my earnings, I put them all together, bought a drum kit, and from that moment on, I was 18.
Right.
I was a drummer.
You were a drummer from there. So, but originally, I think what I was reading, what kind of inspired you was hearing AC/DC's Whole Lotta Rosie, Van Halen's Eruption, obviously iconic guitar player, Edward Van Halen, just amazing. Is there anyone that influenced you on the drums a lot?
Not at the beginning. When I started, I was not. I didn't have one. I did like Phil Rudd of AC/DC, and I did like Alex Van Halen, but I kind of did my own thing, and was not particularly into some particular drummer.
Right, and I think those guys are actually really underrated.
When I got more into drumming, I learned to appreciate guys like Simon Phillips, Dave Weckl, and Chris Adler, the Lamb of God drummer, Ray Luzier, the David Lee Roth drummer and Korn drummer, but not originally when I started playing.
Yeah, and you were also involved in some other things I was reading here. So you're also doing some training for a New York marathon in 2008. You decided to run for a charity for Jason Becker. Tell us how you got involved with that.
Yeah, that's a common thing over here in the Netherlands when there are a lot of people that run marathons like a one-time only thing, and that was actually my goal as well, to run one marathon and then connect that to a charity thing. So I was thinking, what charity can I let's say use for this?
Can you sponsor, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was not into generic charities like the Red Cross or these big organizations. I really wanted to make it really individual.
Right. And a
And
lot of people always think of those come to mind first, those bigger names, right?
yeah, but you know, they have a lot of overhead, and I feel more like whatever I collect, and then spend that on one individual. And yeah, I've been a fan of Jason Becker for many years, and then I remembered, and I mean, I said, yeah, let's do this for Jason, because you know he's an ALS patient, and for many years at the time, and so let's set up this charity for him. And so this is what I did. In those days there was MySpace, so a lot of musicians were on MySpace, and they were easily to connect with.
Right.
So I approached a lot of musicians, asking them to donate signed CDs, drumsticks, guitar picks, signed albums, whatever. And a lot of them donated, and I put them on eBay to auction, and all the proceeds that were coming from that I donated to Jason.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah,
that's excellent. So not only did you get this going on, so you ended up having your own radio show also on a regional Dutch station, right?
Yeah, it was like a kind of a domino thing, you know, from one thing led to another. And so there was some media in Holland that heard the rumor that I was doing this, like running a marathon and doing a charity for this American guitarist. So I was interviewed by a radio station, and so while I was interviewed, I was thinking, yeah, you know, this station does not have a hard rock program. So I was asking them, and I said, yeah, you know, do you have a program on hard rock or playing hard rock music? And they said, no, we don't. And they said, do you want to do it? So I said, yeah, okay, let's do it. And suddenly I was a DJ and having a show.
Very cool.
For 2 hours a week.
So you spinning songs and then doing a little bit interviews here and there and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I did that for two and a half years, I think. And I was more into doing good conversations, you know, with musicians. So I did play new music, but I also went out to gigs and to fairs and speaking to musicians, doing interviews and doing more in-depth interviews with them. Nowadays they call it podcasts, but
right, like what we're doing. Yeah, we do the same thing here. We bring on musicians and different people to talk to. Yeah, like yourself. Yeah, definitely. That's what it's evolved into, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I really enjoyed that. But after 2.5 years, it was difficult to combine, you know, with all other things, and it was very intense. But I did learn to know a lot of musicians from that period. And though a couple of them I used while recording my music.
Excellent. And also wanted to mention, you also got involved with co-organizing the Jason Becker Not Dead Yet Festival.
Yeah.
Also with that.
Yeah, that was also one of the domino effects that we had. So there was this guy in Holland that was planning to organize this festival. And he approached me because he had heard of me doing this charity, and he said, you know, it's kind of busy to organize this festival, and do you want to help me with that? And I said, yeah, sure, of course. And so yeah, I helped him with it, and spent time with all the musicians that were hired and that were playing on the festival, and we had a great couple of days. And again, you know, I learned to know a couple of musicians that were playing there.
Right, and you've worked with musicians like George Lynch and obviously Keith St. John, Christopher Amott, you know, a string of others here. You know, you had the album out, Rise, which got, you know, global recognition and reviews, which is amazing. And that obviously leads us up to the new album, Here to Stay. You guys released that in December. Tell us a little bit about putting that together.
Yeah, I mean, when I did Rise in 2020, I released it on March 1. And 2 weeks later, it was COVID all over the place, and
yeah.
so everything was shut down. And I was thinking, what can I do musically now, since I did have some ideas about touring in those days, but I could put them in the trash can immediately because, everything was stopped and everyone was grounded.
Right.
So yeah, I decided to keep on writing, and the most natural way to continue writing was to do that with Keith, because he was the one who sang on the most songs on Rise. He sang, I think, on 5 or 6 songs, and we really got along well. So without a concrete goal, I just started writing new songs one by one. And after I got 4, 5 maybe with Keith done, we said, yeah, let's move on and make a full new album.
Right.
Then it took another 3 years to finish that, but
well, we're glad you did. It's definitely sounds great. I want to take a quick pause here. I'm going to play a track from the album Here to Stay, Heavy Metal Till I'm Dead, and we'll be right back here with Ron Coolen on Talking About Rock. Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock. Just checked out the track and video for Heavy Metal Till I'm Dead. Excellent, man. I'm loving that video. Very cool stuff you guys got going on in there.
Yeah, thanks.
Looks like you had a lot of fun. So you mentioned a little bit earlier, you at one time had plans for a tour and you had to scrap that and gigs. Anything percolating that you guys have been thinking about or show? Maybe you could give us a little hint of what maybe you might have going on.
Well, both Keith and I have said to each other, yeah, we need to bring this to a stage for sure. The only question is how and when. And touring is financially is difficult,
right?
Especially when I live in the Netherlands, Keith lives in the US, between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, and he has a lot of commitments. So planning is an issue, costs are an issue, but still, we said we need to go out on tour. So I'm in the process now of trying to arrange that. And the ideas and the ideal setting for that is that we would go out on the road with a bigger band as a support act, so we can do many shows within a short time frame. So that makes it efficient for Keith to come over,
right,
to Europe, and then do a lot of shows, short time. It's plannable. Logistic wise is better. So the question now is with which band we can tour. So we have some options that we are speaking to. So yeah, I'm keep my fingers crossed.
Right. Well, we hope you get on one of the tours that are coming out. We know there's all kinds of stuff that's been getting released lately, for the new 2024, all kinds of tours. And some people had to postpone their tour. Obviously, Aerosmith had to cancel out. So that opens up stuff for other people. But yeah, we so would like to see you bring this stuff to the States. Very, very cool. And if our listeners want more information about you or your music, where should they go check it out?
The best way is to go to my website, roncoolen.rocks. There they find everything. So all information on all the guest players and all the songs. They can order the CD, some merch. Everything is there. roncoolen.rocks.
Excellent. Well, Ron, it's been a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. If you folks out there have questions or comments for us, please feel free to email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. You can like us and follow us on our social media and our website, talkingaboutrock.com. Ron, again, thanks for being with us, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, good.